been a lot of different places in my 5 years. Saturday night in Death Valley beats all of them.
It has been said by many that there is no football stadium in the country like Tiger Stadium.
The games, the whole LSU environment, the fans are the best in the country, you know what I'm saying? Hands down.
Man, ain't no better feeling playing at Tiger Stadium.
LSU's different. When they play that bum, 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 that place goes crazy, it's louder than the rest.
When we take the field, you see a group of feisty guys, you know, that's willing to get after it and, you know, sacrifice for those colors and those 3 letters.
There is nothing like it anywhere.
No place on earth quite like it.
But this is at Tiger Stadium. It's at night. Give me my hand.
There are a few better than the one you're about to witness here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Hello and welcome into Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche, Buddy Songy here to bring you some LSU football along with some Saints and a whole lot more. We come to you each week from 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue Smokehouse, the hottest barbecue place in Baton Rouge. Welcome in the Bud Man. LSU sits at 3-1 after they knocked off the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Head coach Mike Leach, score of 28-25. Max Johnson had 280 yards, threw for 4 touchdowns. The rushing game still left some to be desired. Only rushed for 63 total yards. LSU got into a rhythm on defense. They ran the 3-2-6 scheme. Trying to deal with that air raid from Coach Leach. Bottled it up for the most part. You know, Mississippi State likes to throw the ball all around. LSU had a lot of DBs playing well. Damone Clark, SEC Defensive Player of the Week, career high 15 tackles and a fumble recovery. But man, LSU did a lot of good things on defense. Second half, they got a little bit lax, went to that prevent in the fourth quarter. Mississippi State made a game of it. 3-point game, came down to an onside kick, illegal touching by the Bulldogs. But look, an ugly win is better than a pretty loss.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hello, everybody. Once again, we're trying to do these things weekly to get in a little bit of a flow for you. As we say it almost every Wednesday, radio, TV, Facebook, internet, whatever, must-win game. And this is exciting. I'm not going to go back too much with Mississippi State. I enjoyed it when it was 28-10. But old farts like myself, we've seen enough of that 3-man rush and that prevent defense to know it's not very entertaining. And if you're happy out there with the defense, giving up 88 plays and 8 more minutes holding the ball and letting them convert on 12 third down conversions, that you're different than me. I wasn't happy with all that, but they did eliminate most of the big plays, and they held on for the ugly win. Now we have an opportunity to see something that we haven't seen in a couple years, and that is a Tiger Stadium crowd that could be loud and passionate. You have no excuse. 8-10, 8-15, most of you are aware, Florida's at Kentucky at 5 o'clock. College games don't have a 3-hour window, so you may have to look for it. Might be on ESPN News or U or 2 or whatever. But this is a big one and a first chance to see Tiger Stadium filled. You think it's going to be packed. I just want to get 80 to 85% capacity. Probably it'll be a paid crowd of about 95. And something crazy always happens in this game. And oh, by the way, the last time Auburn beat LSU in Tiger Stadium, Tommy Tuberville and his team smoked cigars. 1999. Let's hope the streak continues. And LSU getting some players back, both from the suspension list and the injury list. So I'm starting to feel the good karma. It took me a couple days to get over the Mississippi State game. And I think it bode well if people would quit making too many comparisons to 2019. Let's just call this puppy what it is, 2021, and move forward from here.
Saturday night in Death Valley, LSU, Auburn, a lot of storylines. You mentioned the record. LSU going back to 1999, defeating Auburn at home. Another big storyline coming fast and in a hurry. TJ Finley, quarterback formerly at LSU from Ponchatoula High School, did transfer to Auburn, did get in the game, Auburn's last game against Georgia State. 96-yard touchdown
98 yards.
98-yard touchdown drive, and a whole lot of Auburn fans claiming that's my quarterback. TJ Finley is going to have a chance to play, in my opinion, more than just a few downs, more than a few snaps at LSU. We talked before the show. Neither of us think that TJ Finley is going to get the start. It's still going to be Bo Nix to start. TJ Finley's heart's going to be beaten. I mean, the guy from Ponchatoula, you know he's going to have a lot of family in the stands trying to get tickets for those people. A lot of emotions for that young man. He played well in a couple games for the Tigers. He has a lot of arm talent, a big guy, 6'6", 6'7". LSU's going to have to bring the hats when they're trying to sack that quarterback.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I got to be honest with you, it worked out better for TJ than I thought it would when everybody heard TJ. And Coach O said this week. Look, TJ was a man. He looked him in the eye. He says, I'm a Tiger. All my family lives in Ponchatoula. I don't want to do this. But basically, I'm number 3 on the totem pole. And, of course, we know Miles Brennan got hurt. So, really, TJ might be the backup this year, but he didn't know Brennan would get hurt. He did start at Auburn last year and had a pick 6, as well as a fumble that got picked up and returned. But he's lost some weight. He's a big man, 6'7", about 245. And watching the way LSU tackled him this year, you better get your pad level down, and you better have a couple of hats to physically force him down, because he is a big man. Now, that being said, Bo Nix ought to be required by law to wear a mood ring, because you don't know what you're going to get with Bo Nix. And you and I both think that Harsin is going to probably start Bo Nix and let TJ watch a little bit at the beginning, and then once and that's the toughest thing when you're playing 2 quarterbacks. When do you take one guy out and when you put the other guy out in the game? But it's going to be a raucous crowd. I want to see LSU. And here's my scenario. Auburn wins the toss and they're firm. They're going to kick off. LSU goes down and scores right out the bat, 7-0. Auburn, you get a fumble, a turnover, an INT. You go down and get a field goal or a touchdown. It's 10-0, 14-0. Now you got a chance for that crowd to get the good old feeling that they really haven't had since 2019, and that is a team rolling. Let's be honest, JP, there's a lot of people on the fence right now with Coach O and this football team, so I want to see a quick start. Hope that everybody shows up, and as Coach O says, don't forget, I know all of you are professional tailgaters, but there's no reason getting crazy loaded up at 2:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a long night. It's on the tube. But if you're going to go out there, man, you got to pace yourself, because you could be in that stadium till 11:30, quarter to 12 Saturday night.
It's going to be hopefully a great atmosphere. There's going to be a lot of future potential Tigers. A lot of recruits are going to be there.
Big recruits in there.
They want to see a raucous environment, and that's the whole reason you come to LSU.
Sure.
Yeah, the wins and losses do count, but playing in front of 100,000 screaming LSU fans, there's no feeling like that in the world.
Yeah, and the crowd has got to get back behind this football team. You've got recruits. You've got the whole nation. Listen, that's one of the disappointing things that I've seen this year. Everybody, all these big games, Virginia Tech, everywhere. Yeah. Incredible crowds, incredible atmosphere, incredible noise. Let's see, excuse me, if LSU can get that back. Here's the update, folks. Jontre Kirkland and Songy Fanoa are both going to be back. 13, Jontre Kirkland, he's a 6-year senior and a wide receiver. And Songy Fanoa, who's also a senior, a defensive end, he's number 53. They have both been let out of timeout. They were suspended for 4 games. They're both back. Cam Wire, 61 at left tackle, and Charles Turner, 69, who is a center and has played both tackle spots, he's back. So those 4 guys right back. In case you didn't get the news earlier today, John Emery's appeal to the NCAA was denied. So you feel bad for Emery. But I just remember this, and of course it was a long time ago when I went to college. It's so easy when you sit there and you start off with 15 hours so that if you have a class you don't like, a professor you don't like, or one that you don't go to and you get in a bad way, you can drop it and still be a full-time student. Unfortunately, they did not load up John Emery with enough hours, and he only passed 9 hours in the fall. And so because of that, even though he got 9 hours this past summer, he's ineligible. And his attorney is going to continue to work on some things. But I guess the message behind the madness here is, if you're in college, have a course or two extra,
right,
so that, because look, you can't even go to the games if you're not a full-time student. Right. So football players should never be in a situation where if they drop a course, they're down to 9 hours, in my opinion.
Yeah, I certainly feel sorry for John Emery. Of course, he has to take some of the blame at his academic career. But look, no one around LSU, any fans, thought that John Emery was coming to be a scholarship student. I mean, a scholar in the classroom. He came to play football. Hopefully he stays in shape, possibly return for his senior year. I mean, his future really is in question. NFL, have they seen enough to take a guy like a John Emery? It did have some playing time in his first 2 years at LSU, but, I mean, nothing to make your jaw hit the floor. Hopefully he stays in shape, ready to come back, and I really have to root for that young man. It's disappointing, the outcome this season. Like you said, the attorney is still going to work on some things, try to get him eligible, but as it looks right now, he's not going to be able to play. Getting the 2 offensive linemen back, I think that helps LSU's rushing game. You mentioned Cam Wire, a guy can really play the left tackle position. The offensive line, the patchwork they've had to do this year, Austin Deckles, I mean, the guy seems to get banged up every game, but he never comes out. Like, he's fighting the trainers on the sidelines to get back on the field. That guy is a warrior.
Sure.
Liam Shanahan, who we'll hear from later on in this show, he's been the rock so far. It's been, like I said, patchwork on the offensive line, but the running game has to get going. Cannot be so one-dimensional to where you do like LSU did to Mississippi State. Drop 6 DBs back in coverage. LSU has a ton of talented wide receivers, but I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's hard when you have 4 DBs on each side of the field, or cover guys on each side of the field to find those windows to throw, especially when you have SEC caliber pass rushers coming after you.
Well, you're not going to see the 3-man rush this week. You're going to see the 4-2-5 or the 4-3. Let's not sugarcoat this thing. LSU's got to do a better job at the line of scrimmage. Play calling on first down on offense has got to be appreciably better. But I want to see some blitzing. I want to see a little more aggressive with both coordinators this weekend. We
have a whole lot more here on Tigers Roar. Before we take our first break, we'll remind you guys, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. It's a great way to keep up with everything we do here at the Pelican. Tigers Roar is all archived there for your viewing leisure, your pleasure. We also have the Clarence Buggs Show, the Roger Kadar Show, and starting this week, Overtime with Athletic Director Roman Banks from Southern University. We'll be getting back going on the Pelican. Look for that coming up on YouTube very shortly. Once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. You're watching Tigers Roar. We come to you each and every week from 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Old School Barbecue Smokehouse, the greatest barbecue place in Baton Rouge. Great food, great atmosphere. Come see the Florida Rector Mahdi. Of course, you have Kayla behind the bar. She'll make you something great to drink. Come check it out. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Once again, that is Old School Barbecue. Hey, what can I say? The food speaks for itself. Come check it out. You're watching Tigers Roar. We'll be right back after this break.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis. Not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway. Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
We continue here on Tigers Roar, ready to continue the conversation about LSU football this past weekend, defeating the Mississippi State Bulldogs 28-25 in Stark Vegas. You call it Stark Vegas, Bud Man?
Look, there's so many jokes about Starkville and Stark Vegas and, of course, the cowbells and Ed Daniels calls them the bull pups and all of that. As I said, LSU did tackle much better in space. Hey, Cordell Flott had an awesome start.
Sure did.
With a forced fumble and an INT. And Damone Clark, I guess you heard the skinny. All the guys on the team were giving him, they were poking him and kidding him, saying, I can't believe you didn't score. Looked pretty good when he picked up that fumble and rambled 30, 35 yards. And that, to me, it's unbelievable, JP. LSU has not lost a fumble this year, and Max Johnson has 15 touchdowns, of course, and only 3 INTs. By the way, he had 8 and 1, so he's 23 touchdowns and 4 INTs in 6 games. I want to see him get better. Want to see them throw the ball on first down. Yep. This run on first down, you know what the average on first down running it? 2 yards a carry. And so that puts you in 2nd and 8 and 3rd and long. I'd like to see him dink and dunk. And for the life of me, can you keep number 80 on the offensive side of the playing field this year? Jack Best ought to be playing more. But because of the porous offensive line, they decided to keep Cole Taylor back in the backfield to help block. With Cam Wire back and Charles Turner back, I'm hoping they can spread it out a little bit, go hurry up tempo, and get Jack Best involved. Johnson Kirkland, who knows, could be a little wildcat action.
That would be a good
and
ad.
As we know, when you got to feed the dog and the beast, Keyshawn Butte, Trey Palmer was back, and so I just enjoy all of the great wide receivers. But I got to be honest with you, JP, I watch a lot of football, and LSU so far, the running game has left a lot to be desired. Man, they're averaging 80 yards a game on the ground. And I see everybody else, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Bama, everybody with running backs.
Yep.
I think it's time for TDP and Corey Kiner and Armani Goodwin and Josh Williams to get over 100 yards, and that's where the game will be won and lost, at the line of scrimmage this weekend.
Well, we have some highlights from this past weekend in Starkville. We'll ask the truck to please roll those highlights, and we'll continue the conversation. LSU defeats Mississippi State 28-25. You see right here, Cardell Flott causing looked a lot like the Derek Stingley play from a week ago.
Yeah, and of course, as we know, Flott is a guy that's been playing in the nickel, and he's playing appreciably better. And here's Damone Clark going 35 yards down the field.
Max Johnson right here does a good job stepping up in the pocket, and there you go, delivering it to his man right there. I believe that is 11.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Thomas Jr., that's correct.
And here he scrambles. He's going to hit Butte right here with a little dink and dunk for the touchdown.
I tell you what, Butte is an absolute dog. The guy just lives in the end zone. He doesn't pay rent either. He lives in every end zone he visits. He has a house already set up.
All right, Cardell Flott makes his second play in the first half. Here's the INT, and that saves LSU at least 3.
Well, that was a special play. Extended, got the ball at the highest point. LSU receiving the punt right here. But, man, special teams did a good job for LSU. Atkins did a great job kicking off.
Trey Palmer actually showing his speed right here. Good to see LSU with a nice return for Jay.
Now, before the season, I did give the what am I looking for? What word? The gas, the shot in the dark that Trey Palmer would have. 3 touchdowns on returns. That hasn't happened so years. He's a little dinged up, but he still has a lot to go.
All right, got a sack there, and that was good to see. And, of course, now we're getting ready to come over here. Here's a little part of where they started running a little bit. And here's Tyrion Davis-Price. Tyrion Davis-Price finally getting a little momentum, picking up a first down.
I thought that was TDP's best run of the year. And that sets up the play fake, and that's what you need.
Here's the dog, Kayshon Boutte, and he knows they're not going to catch him. And even if they do, he's going to get into the end zone. Run pass option, fake the football, boom. Here's the slant over the middle for the touchdown.
The yard after catch is the special thing about Boutte. Does have a great catch rate, but I mean, we can do. I think it's the ball in his hands is really special.
All right, once again, and here we got a little pressure, and you're forcing the quarterback out, and not a sack, but you're getting. Once again, that was Ali Gay with a nice play and almost an INT with a couple of guys. Thought the secondary played much better for the most part.
I agree. A lot of young guys did have great plays. LSU brought a little bit of pressure right there on 3rd and 9. Forcing the 4th down, got to hit on the quarterback, and that's what you really need. Make the quarterback uncomfortable, especially in that air raid timing offense.
How about this one, folks? He's waiting for it to come down from the heavens. Trey Palmer, and blown coverage by Mississippi State. Easy touchdown for number 33.
LSU fans used to seeing that happen to LSU. A guy wide open in the secondary these last couple of years, but I mean, Trey Palmer getting absolutely wide open in the secondary. That's great to see. You kind of think that the scheme is working when a guy gets that wide open.
Big play here. They had a personal foul, and this kept a drive going on. I forget exactly, but here you see, I think there was something about the way you came over the top.
Yeah, can now jump over the shield. That is personal foul, 15 yards, an automatic first down. Of course, here comes Max Johnson again in a 3rd down situation. At least it's 3rd and short, falling off his back, but he gets a pass off to Cole Taylor. The defenders run into each other. I believe that ball was actually intended for Boutte, but Cole Taylor comes down when the defenders crash into each other, score a touchdown, and that was really the icing.
Yeah, it got to 28-10 at that point. By the way, Cole Taylor is still learning. He played at a small school in Colorado, high school, but, man, his potential, he looked good running with the football when he secured it. And I think that we all know that if you've done your homework, Auburn has had trouble guarding the tight ends in the first couple of games. Penn State lit them up, as well as Georgia Southern. So I'd love to see LSU go with Cole Taylor and Jack Bech and some balls this weekend.
Yeah, Cole Taylor's really starting to come into his zone, working his way into the offense. LSU really didn't have a true blocking tight end, so Cole Taylor has to fill that void. He's done a pretty good job chipping. There you see what he can do when he gets the football. He's talented as a pass catcher, and he's a big man. I mean, it's tough for those DBs to bring him down. You saw right there going untouched. The rest of the way to the end zone. But if you remember, Cole Taylor was one who lost his shoe against Florida last year. The guy's feet are impressive.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Obviously, for those of you who are going out to Tiger Stadium this Saturday night, something crazy always happens. JP, we were talking about all the incredible games. You know, the year they had the fire, the year that Eddie Fuller caught it in the back of the end zone. Look, Cole Tracy, last time they played at Auburn a couple years ago with the walk-off. Always something crazy happens in this game, and we're hoping that it's another special night in Tiger Stadium.
We'll let you guys hear from Max Johnson, the sophomore quarterback from LSU. He threw for 280 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's had a great run so far. In the 6 games he's played, he's thrown at least 3 touchdowns. First quarterback in LSU history to do that. We'll let you guys hear from Max Johnson right here on Tigers Roar.
Calling plays that, beat the coverage that they're running.
I know some of it's probably self-explanatory, but how have you guys kind of tried to adjust and make things happen when the run game isn't quite going?
Yeah, we've been working on the run game since McNeese State, and I think we've done a better job since then. I'm not sure what our rushing stats were last game. Ty Davis had some good runs this past game, and I think we actually called the play 2 times in a row. The one that we threw the slant to Kayshawn, that was the same exact run play, except it was just a RPO. But I think we've been working on the run game. The running back's been running hard, and they're working really hard.
Hey Max, this is Josh Sibley with Louisiana Gridiron Football. Speaking of Ty Davis Price, what have you seen out of the evolution, I guess, of his pass protection in the passing game and his pass blocking these past two seasons?
Yeah, he's done a great job so far at UCLA. That's when we had some struggles with picking up protection, such as me sending it the right way, and I think Ty kind of picked up the slack. I think Ty's done a great job of whether it's cutting or picking up the guy that's right in front of my face, so it'll give me an extra second. I think all the running backs have done a great job. All the guys that have been in there so far, they've made some great blocks for us. And I think even when some teams try to bring an extra guy, whether it's cover 0 or some different type of coverages, they've always been in that spot to pick up the blitz.
Max, just kind of going back to the running game, you sort of mentioned how the Ty had that 11-yarder that you mentioned, an 18-yarder early in the game, but maybe it's just not as consistently as explosive as y'all would like it to be. Is there something that you're all really working on to try to have that a little bit more happening? Is maybe working, having those RPOs to sort of confuse a defense or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's just trying to, whether it's open up our formations to get a 5-man or 6-man box and throw RPOs, or it's whether, just to get maybe some different formations to get leverage on the defensive linemen or to get them in certain techniques. If it's an over-under front, I think Coach Peets has done a great job of, kind of getting them in the right spots for our linemen to do, their work. And I think last week kind of showed a little bit more of what we can do in the run game.
Yeah, hey Max, I'm not sure if we asked you this or not, but I think somebody was saying that chipping is a big part of y'all's offensive scheme, and particularly over the last couple of weeks, it seems like tight ends and running backs have done a little bit better job of doing that and giving you some extra time. I'm just curious if you've noticed that and how that's played a factor in some of y'all's offensive success the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I definitely noticed. I think all the running backs have done a really good job of chipping, nudging, or kind of just getting out when they aren't needed in protection. I think they know where to go, whether it's to the right or the left. They know how to scan. I think Coach Munoz stepped in for Coach Falk and done a great job of kind of explaining to them, where to be on some type of blitzes and stuff.
Max, I know we've asked you about Jack plenty, but it seems like he's kind of your third down guy.
Yeah.
What is it kind of about what he does that maybe is well suited to that?
I think he's just super aggressive, and I think he knows where to be in the right spots. I think whether it's a certain coverage or this, he knows how to run out of stick routes, sit in stick routes. I think he's the overall player. He's working on his blocking. He's a really good pass catcher, and he's super aggressive, and he loves being out there.
Max, I don't know if we've had quite a chance to ask about this, but Ed said that kind of after that UCLA game, they wanted to take a little bit off of your plate. So how have your, maybe pre-snap responsibilities changed, if at all, and where has those responsibilities gone to?
I think Liam's done a really good job of kind of sending the line where to go, whether it's on run or pass plays. He's done a great job of communicating with me, and therefore I'm able to communicate with the backs. And I think there's just been a way better or a way more efficient way of communicating in the offense. And I think that just goes to credit Coach Peets again and Coach Munoz and all them, and Coach Davis for all the great communication that we've had so far.
And we continue on Tigers Roar. That was Max Johnson gearing up for the Auburn game. It's going to be a rowdy crowd Saturday night in Death Valley. TJ Finley did not get an opportunity to have a night game at LSU. Of course, we discussed. We think TJ Finley is going to get some snaps for Auburn. Who's going to be the better quarterback that night? Is it going to be Bo Nix, TJ Finley, or Max Johnson?
I'm going to go with Max, and I think as I gave the stats earlier, 15 touchdowns to 3 INTs, and overall 23 touchdowns and 4 INTs. I want to see him get a little bit of rhythm, and you know, we love listening to Eli and Peyton on Monday night. The first Monday night it was 800,000. The second Monday night it was 1.8, and now this last week it was 1.9. So a lot of followers. But both of them talked about the fact that when you go up tempo and when you go hurry up, the quarterback just seems like they enjoy it. Number one, you get in the defense and their tongue's starting to hang out. Number two, they don't have time to substitute, and if they do, sometimes you snap it when they're not even in their stance. And number three, it's more natural. All that check with me's and sitting around at the line of scrimmage, people are tired of all that. So as Peyton and Eli were talking about it, of course, we saw Dak Prescott do it with Dallas and go down the field, and then we saw Jalen Hurts with the Eagles go down and do it. So I'm hoping they go a little more up-tempo. On the other hand, I do think they've got to do a better job of calling better plays on first down. Now, you know, I've always loved throwing the short pass on first down because guess what? You know this with your son. Everybody plays run defense on first down.
That's right.
So you have a little chance, whether it's a bubble, whether it's a swing, regardless, let's get those running backs involved in the passing game. I just think Max Johnson is going to feel his oats, and I think he has a blockbuster game. Bo Nix, I think, is going to be inconsistent, and TJ Finley's going to make some plays, but he'll also have some mistakes, as been his history.
Right. The guy's got a lot of arm talent. We have seen him overthrow some guys. He's got a very strong arm. Sometimes that ball sails on him. And his heart rate's going to be up. He's going to be jacked, playing in front of a raucous crowd, a lot of family members. I agree. I think he's going to
But they better wrap him up when they hit him because now, listen, this is one of the things that we talked about, and this is the game you find out is the 2021 LSU football team. Are they physical enough to win at the line of scrimmage in the SEC? That answer starts to happen and unfold as we get closer to 11 o'clock, 11:30, because, and I saw McElroy and everybody else saying this yesterday on the SEC network, the SEC, for the most part, still the winners are determined at the line of scrimmage. Who's doing great? Arkansas. Who's doing great? Georgia. Who's doing great? Alabama, Ole Miss. All those teams are appreciably better at the line of scrimmage. I'd love to see LSU give us a reason next Wednesday to say that was a physical ball game by the Tigers instead of us calling them a finesse team. Damone Clark, got to have more guys like that, him and Cordell Flott, physical enough. Oh, by the way, Derek Stingley did go to Green Bay this week to get a second opinion on his foot. And so I would expect him to be on the sidelines but not play this weekend.
But, man, we know the Auburn Tigers like to disrupt the line of scrimmage with that defensive line. Something we always talk about is the screen pass and the lack thereof in this LSU offense. And what is the deal? Is it attrition on the offensive line? They don't want these guys to get hurt? I mean, we know Joe Brady's tree and Jake Pete's a guy he recommended to Coach O could run the offense. I mean, Joe Brady came from Sean Payton. Sean Payton loves the screen. Where is the screenplay in this LSU offense?
You know, I get frustrated because I've said this so many times. Why don't you just, your coaching staff, take a trip 60 miles down the road and learn how Alabama in college and the Saints in the pro execute the screen as good as anybody. And for whatever reason, and I've asked a lot of offensive linemen about the screen, and they give me a lot of different answers. But holy cow, the problem is that if they ever execute a screen for a touchdown, you're going to have 89 people going into the EMS hall and say, I'm having a heart attack. I can't believe what just happened. So, look, throw it on first down, dink and dunk. Then you play action and go over the top. And then, of course, get more RPOs involved and make Auburn come after you. But that screen and the dump off to the running backs, this is what's so frustrating. Josh Williams caught an 18-yard flare against UCLA out the backfield, looked really good. I don't think we've seen the play since. And whether that's Ed Ogeron meddling in the offense or Jake Peets learning on the job and not being able to do it consistently, or a combination of those two things, I think it's hard for people to realize. You've got two coordinators learning on the job right now. Let's hope that they get more comfortable and the play calls come in. Because Auburn, once again, as I said, just like Bo Nix and the Auburn football team, got to look at their mood ring. You don't know which team you're going to get Saturday night.
We have a whole lot more here on Tigers Roar. Time for another quick break. We come back. We have some more players from the LSU Fighting Tigers. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Tigers Roar.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer. Team Mazda on Airline.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now, I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. It's time to talk some LSU defense. Held the Mississippi State Bulldogs to 25 points and not 1,000 yards passing like they got last year. So you take the ugly win. Okay, they caused some turnovers. Cordell Flott had the forced fumble and the interception. Damone Clark, SEC Defensive Player of the Year with a career high of 15 tackles and the fumble recovery. His teammates were giving him a little flack because he didn't return it for a touchdown. But, hey, that's okay. Tigers turned into some points. LSU gets it done. We saw them change the game plan, only rush 3, drop 6. Me and you talked about it a little bit. You know, you look at defensive game plans, and you don't really want to show your hand before the snap of the ball, give the quarterback extra time to understand and read what the defense is trying to do and how to attack that defense. I didn't see a lot of LSU jumping on the line, trying to disguise their blitz. But, I mean, last year with both the P word, almost said it, bud, man. I think that was a big problem. I mean, these guys were trying to do too much, got confused, and there was a lot of blown assignments. I'm okay with LSU playing soft as long as they are not giving up the big play.
Well, look, I'm watching the Saints play New England, and they're going up against a rookie from Alabama by the name of Mac Jones. And we know what Alabama's done with quarterbacks. Let's give Nick Saban a lot of credit. Yep. Tua and Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones. His last 3 quarterbacks have all made made a nice pocket full of money in the pros, and Bryce Young certainly looks like he's on his way there. But that all being said, I'm watching the Saints, JP, and they've got 6 or 7 on the line of scrimmage. And Mac Jones doesn't know if they're playing zone or man. He don't know if they're coming from the right or the left. And they snap the ball, and they rush 3 and 4 of those guys that were on the line step back in coverage. I think Durante Jones is getting better each week. We showed the play when they did have the 4-man rush and they blitzed one time and he had to throw it early. I want to see if this guy's a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this is LSU football, but look, it's not just physical. You got to outsmart people. You can't just line up and tell everybody what you're going to do on offense and defense and win the game unless you're more talented.
Exactly.
And LSU's more talented than Mississippi State. But as you get to the closer games that are equal in talent, you got to out-scheme and out-fox some people. So I would like to see a little more blitzing. I'd like to see a little more jumping around. Give that guy, Bo Nix or TJ Finley, some things to think about. If you're sitting there and you don't do any jumping around, he's going to be able to read what you're doing. And so I want to see them get a little more intricate. It's been very simple so far with the game plans. And let's hope that both coordinators can grow into this job and do a little bit more. But I want to see that crowd going crazy. And, oh, by the way, do you think it gets to a fever pitch where Bo Nix is like, I can't hear, I got to call the hand signals? Or you think they're not there yet since we've had 2 years since the pandemic and normalcy?
I think leading up to the game, it's going to be a weird feeling around Tiger Stadium. I mean, the tailgate's going to be different. You're really not used to being in that scene. Yeah, you have been able to tailgate a little bit this year, but there's been no night games. It's a long day. There'll be a couple pots of jambalaya, some Manda sausage, some burgers going, and then you really start drinking. You get into that stadium, you're like, oh, yeah, I remember how to do this. Then it's kickoff. LSU starts fast. That crowd is going to be into it. You get to hear the band on the field again this year, which is a big part of the LSU experience, especially pregame. There's going to be a lot of things working. I do think that it gets to a fever pitch, as you mentioned. A couple times in that game, you got to get your chops back, and whatever you do, being a fan is no different. You got to know when to cheer, know when to be quiet, know when to get up. There's going to be those guys in the stands trying to get the noise up. I never really care for those guys. Like, dude, turn around and watch the game. I know when to cheer, but I digress. To answer your question, the crowd has to make it difficult on these quarterbacks. Auburn is not Mississippi State. They're a team that wants to run the football. They want to be physical. They want to beat you at the line of scrimmage, open up a hole, dominate that line of scrimmage, push your guys back, and so they can really get into a rhythm. When they depend on passing the football, Bo Nix or TJ Finley, they're not going to light the world up. And they can be very hot or very cold, both of them. I mean, TJ is 6'7", but they're pretty much like the same kind of quarterback, in my opinion. Bo Nix could run the ball more with his legs, but as you mentioned, TJ Finley did lose some weight, did look mobile, but that was against Georgia State. That's not the SEC caliber defense you'll be playing each week. In my opinion, must win on Saturday. LSU's second half of the schedule is absolutely loaded with juggernauts. If you don't win, you go into a very tough stretch with a bad taste. And it's hard to practice. It's hard to get yourself emotionally ready. It's hard to coach kids that are coming off of a loss. At home, at night, everyone's watching. It's supposed to be at capacity. It's a must-win.
Good to see 18 playing and living up to the reputation of the number, Damone Clark. And he's probably been one of the more physical defensive players. It's real simple. I asked a couple former coaches about how you tackle physically. And the first thing you do is you got to get your pad level lower than that running back or that wide receiver or that quarterback. And then you got to use the lower part. You got to use these legs and explode and drive them back. It's going to be hard to drive TJ Finley back because he falls forward very easily with that frame of his. But want to see them tackle well. As we said, you want to stop the run, you want to run the football, and you want to win turnover battle. You do 2 or 3, you generally win. But we're going to let you hear from Damone Clark, number 18, and Allie Gay. I felt bad for the D-line last week because a lot of times you would see they're rushing 3 and they're blocking with 5,
right,
which means that a couple guys are getting double teamed on on every play. Expect Joe Evans to get more reps, number 94. Neil Farrell, 92. Mason Smith, him, B.J. Ojolari, and Ali Gay will be on the defensive ends. Also, don't forget about Jaqueline Roy, Tank Gilry. And here's the other thing, too. Linebackers, can they cover backs and tight ends out the backfield? Not only is Damone Clark going to be important this weekend, but Micah Baskerville, obviously, Bug Strong, who is a thumper.
Right.
And Mike Jones, who's getting more and more PT each week.
Well, here is number 18, the senior linebacker, Damone Clark, SEC Defensive Player of the Week here on Tigers Roar.
Blessed, to be SEC Player of the Week, but I mean, honestly, that was, from last week's game. We have a new game this week. It's just my biggest thing is just to go out there and just, do it all again, but do it better. Because, I mean, I made mistakes on Saturday. We all made mistakes on Saturday, but, I mean, it's all about just going out there and just improving on the things that I messed up on and just not letting them things carry over to Auburn.
Hey, Damone, before the season started, you had, raved about how Blake Baker was really part of your resurgence and how you've been playing better. This far into the season, just how much more of an influence has he been going forward? I
mean, Coach Baker is just like, he's a good coach, man. He's not just like a coach, he's like a father, he's like a friend, everything, he makes you comfortable with him, and that's the biggest thing, just having a relationship with a coach that, that he's been everywhere, and just, I met him back in the spring, and our relationship just got stronger and stronger, and I mean, he just, he rubbing off on me, just having me going out there, he always tell me, just go out there, just play, trust what you see. Don't second guess yourself. We're going to correct the things we need to correct. And that's just one of the things a few things that I look at, just moving forward and going through with the game.
Damone, I guess LSU Social is now posting pictures of you and saying the leader, and obviously you've taken on a leadership role. Just kind of curious, what goes into kind of figuring out how to lead or what the team needs at a certain moment? Like, how do you kind of know what to do?
I mean, they had guys before me that, when I came here my freshman year, and I had like Devin. Devin was a guy that, that done everything right. He helped everybody. He did whatever he needed to do. And I mean, that just rubbed off on me. And then I had my sophomore year, I had Patrick Queen and Jacob Phillips doing the same thing. So it's just like a domino effect. It just rubbed off on me, and just being one of the older guys on the team, and one of the experienced guys on the team, we have our team young. We have a lot of younger guys. So, I just want to, just be that person that, they can go to, on and off the field, but first I have to make sure I'm doing the right thing first before, I can sit there and, tell somebody else what to do.
Hey, Damone, Wilson Alexander from The Advocate. If Derek has to miss time, Dwight McGlothern, kind of was that guy who kind of step up. It's a small sample size, but just what did you think the game that he played as a starter there on Saturday, and even in maybe a little bit of a backup role against Central Michigan?
I mean, I'm not surprised that Dwight went out there and played the way he played. I mean, he's been doing that, since he got here. He was actually having a good camp before he got hurt. So like I said, I'm not surprised. And I mean, another guy that I want to take the time out to shout out is Cardell Flott. That's another guy that, we all knew what we had to do from last year, and he's a guy that, just coming to work every day, and just take on the opportunity and take on the challenge to get better.
Hey, Damone, just I guess talk about one of the storylines this week is obviously, the quarterback battle over there at Auburn, and you guys potentially having to prepare for both Bo Nix and TJ Finley. I mean, just you're very familiar with both guys. Just talk about, I guess what you've seen on film, and just obviously your relationship last year with Finley. Just talk about that whole aspect of this game on Saturday.
On film, both guys are, have different things that they are unique doing. I mean, like I said, I still have a relationship with TJ. That's not going to change. He, once you LSU Tiger, you're always an LSU Tiger, whether you're here or not. So we're gonna take on the challenge this week. Whoever the starting quarterback is, I don't have nothing to do with that, but whoever the starting quarterback is, they're gonna put forth their best effort to win, and we're gonna do the same thing.
Hey, Damone, I mean, preparing for Auburn this week, obviously, I mean, the running back duo that they have over there has been able to put up yards consistently. Just what are the keys for y'all, and what makes their run game go?
I mean, we just have to do what our coaches, prepping us to do, I mean, it's a SEC game, I mean, we know what we got to do, this is one of the games that, that I had circled, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us had circled, because, I mean, like I say, in order to be the best, you have to beat the best. So we just got to go out there and do what our coaches prep us to do.
Are there any run schemes that they do that have jumped off the page as far as just early preparation goes?
I mean, they run a lot of duo, split zone, counter. They do things like that. But that's that's the main three runs that they do a lot. But our coach is doing a great job prepping us for it, and we are ready to take on the challenge.
Hey, Damone, I wanted to go back. You mentioned, with Devin and Patrick coming before you, when they leave, is there kind of a official, unofficial kind of passing of the torch to you to become the next guy? There's a DBU, but there's a linebacker lineage just kind of built as well. And do you feel like maybe you've taken a step in that direction of maybe becoming a complete player and maybe helping your team's success and then moving on to the next level?
I would say. I really don't know. I just feel like, everybody have their time. I wouldn't really say about a torch or anything, but, I mean, I just feel like, now is my time. Devin, like I said, I feel like Devin paved the way. Devin paved the way for Patrick, and Patrick paved the way for me. And I'm nowhere near, where I need to be at. I just got to keep improving every day, and then, everything else going to take care of itself.
It's great to see number 18, Damone Clark, has success this season, get SEC Defensive Player of the Week. The guy's a leader, on the field. That's who they all look to. He wears number 18. Great to see him have some success.
And this is the money year for him. Listen, the guy is 6'3", about 240, can run, and I'm happy. Man, when he wore 35 the first couple of years, he looked really good. He looked fast. Of course, we know with the P word, we don't say Bo P's last name. But everybody was lost on defense last year. And, hey, I know this is a topic for a different thing, and we're not talking about it, but what's your gut feeling on this? The final Wednesday of September 29th, do you think Derek Stingley, of course, the Stingley name has been etched in football history for many, many years. Do you think he heals up and comes back and play, or are you worried about this is something that's going to extend to where, let's be honest, if they having a losing season,
exactly,
there's no reason for that young man to come out and play, because why get hurt if your team is having a losing season and all the negativity that you have? But I'm pulling for him to come back, but I also realize at this point, foots and ankles and those lower extremities, as we see with Armani Goodwin, man, it's not easy to overcome those ankles and those foot injuries.
Right. I think you hit the nail on the head. It all depends on LSU and how they do the next 4 or 5 games, if he's going to come back or not. The guy knows he's going to be playing on Sundays. He's not going to cost his future, his family's financial well-being on a team that's not going anywhere. And, you hate to say that. You live purple, you love gold, forever LSU, and you want to go out on a good note. So it would be ideal for that young man to work himself back into the lineup for a team that's competing towards the end. You never know with LSU. Obviously, they have uber talent. Like, they are a very talented team. They have speed, they have size, they have a very deep roster. But can you put it all mentally and emotionally each week and be consistent with it? That's going to be the question for LSU. You hit the nail on the head. If they're winning, I think Derek Stingley does come back. He will heal up. That young man's going to attack the rehab, whatever the injury is.
Would like to see 7 score a touchdown here in his final year in Tiger Stadium. Of course, we'll wait to see if that evolves. And, hey, let's give a shout-out to Dwight McLaughlin. He came in and played really well. He got beat on a long ball, but they didn't complete it. But I liked Dwight McLaughlin and some of those DBs getting better there. But this week it's all about the line of scrimmage and winning. The LSU defensive front 7 has got to anytime you got a running back and your name is Tank, you better wrap him up and you better get that pad level down low, or he will roll you like a tank.
Yeah.
Stopping Tank Bigsby is going to be a big thing for the LSU defense this weekend.
And a young man's going to play a big part of that is number 11 senior defensive end Ali Gay, guy with a great off the field story. His senior year. I want to let you guys hear from Ali Gay. Second game back for the Tigers. Has 7, I think, tackles on the year. Did have some disruption against Mississippi State, but it looked for him to have a bigger impact in this Auburn game. Setting the edge out there. You mentioned Tank Bigsby. That guy is a load. It's going to take linebackers coming downhill, filling those gaps. And if the defensive ends don't set that edge, I mean, it is tough to contain. I'll let you guys hear from number 11, Ali Gay, right here on Tigers Roar.
I mean, going into the game, we know, they're a big, heavy run team. We know they have a tough quarterback. So the run game is definitely something we're going to have to stop. Like everybody always says, first you got to stop the run and have some fun. So, that's something they're going to come in and bring on to us. And that's something we feel like we've done a pretty good job so far. We just got to keep improving as we're going in this week because this is a tough matchup. Auburn is a good team. They have very talented players, and so do we. So, it's a good matchup for us, and we feel like this is a good challenge for us this week.
Elliot, I know you're not probably going to have to run this often, but what was that like for you kind of going to that 3-man front last week? And even if you don't run it again, are there like things you can gain from that?
I mean, it was definitely an experience, but I mean, it was needed for last week's matchup. I feel like it helped us a lot. It helped our secondary, build defense, like Coach was saying, and stop most of their pass plays. And I mean, it was a necessary sacrifice for us, to be in a 3-man front. It wasn't much of a sacrifice. I say it was experience as well. We definitely took something away from it. But as long as it was going to stop Mississippi State from passing every play, and trying to get some yards. But I mean, it helped, and it was necessary for us to get away with the win. Yeah.
Yeah, Ali, this is your second season playing with Damone Clark, and I want to notice what changes or notice in elevation of his game have you seen this year versus your first year with him?
I mean, he's definitely stepped up in the leadership role, more confident and more confidence in his game and how he attacks every. I call him a bulldog, but he doesn't really get. He thinks I'm making fun of him, but he's really like a. He's aggressive. He wants to attack. He wants everything. Like he wants to make every play, and that's the competitive spirit that I like in him, and I really appreciate and I admire him. I admire that about him because it kind of rubs up off me, and I kind of take some things away from him to try to put in my mental in every game I play. So I definitely appreciate having him as a teammate because he's definitely one of those players on the team that you want to have. One of those players you want to have on your team and kind of lead the defense in a way that you want it to go.
Hey, Ali, well, this is, of course, your second season, but last year you didn't get to really experience the nighttime atmosphere of a prime game at LSU at Pack Tiger Stadium. What are you hoping to see Saturday?
I mean, I know this is going to be a big game, so I'm hoping to see a full Tiger Stadium, 100,000. It'll be my first, everybody's been saying it's going to be my first, packed Tiger Stadium, and I'm excited for it because I feel like the fans bring a lot to us. A different kind of energy that boosts our morale and our energy on the field. So I'm definitely looking forward to it and seeing the Tiger fans out there on Saturday night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, Lee Wilson Alexander from the Advocate. And maybe you probably wouldn't have seen him much because he's behind you, but with Stingley out, Doug McLaughlin had to step up, and he might have to sit there for however long Stingley's out. And just what do you kind of see from his game stepping into start for the first time this year?
Oh, you mean Stingley or Jay Ward?
Dwight.
Oh, Dwight. I mean, Dwight, yeah, he definitely had some bump, on the road during camp. So he's worked his way back to getting back on the field, Didn't expect him to come back so soon, but he's done so much work to, work his ass off to get back on the field. And we feel like he did a lot of good things towards the end of the season last year. So, so far right now, all he has to do is, pick up right where he left off, and I believe that he can do so.
Ali, as you remember back to Saturday, Cordell had caused an early fumble, and Damone picked it up, and he actually kind of took himself to task. He thought he should have scored. Andre did that a couple weeks before. Did y'all give him any grief for not getting?
Oh man, every day. I mean, I know he'll probably see this later on, but I mean, I mean, I tell him every day, I'm like, man, everybody been telling him, like, you should have scored that. You know, Dre scored, you know, and he had the opportunity to score. And I'm telling him, like, if I get the opportunity, I don't care. Like, if I'm tired, my legs are about to fall off, I'm going to run. I'm going to run and take it to the house. So, I mean, he misses opportunities. So if I get the same opportunity, I don't care. I'm going to feel like a running back and just, you know, take it to the house or something. But, I mean, he did a good job on that, but he should have, you know, I think he should have scored. But I won't let it go. I'm gonna keep getting on him about it. But yeah, I mean, that was a great play though he made. You know, can't knock it off. Got to give him some credit for that. So he picked it off. You know, scoop, but he should have scored.
Senior defensive end for the LSU Tigers, looking to have a big impact against the Auburn Tigers this weekend. 8 o'clock kickoff, well, 8:10, 8:15-ish. Death Valley is going to be a raucous crowd. We're going to come back from the next break with Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com, get his take on the LSU-Auburn matchup and a whole lot of recruiting. Don't go anywhere. This is Tigers Roar.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
And we welcome you back, as always. Nice that the rain has subsided a little bit. Final Wednesday of the month of September. Really heating up with recruiting. A big weekend in Tiger Stadium. A lot of the potential commitments coming in. And we talk with the best. Mike Scarborough, he's been doing recruiting with us for a long time here at Tigers Roar, as well as on the radio and internet. Mike, happy Wednesday, and let's get right into it. Suffice to say, the crowd could be a big factor and impact. Harold Perkins and many more coming in. Just how big is this weekend in Tiger Stadium for Coach O and his football program?
It's absolutely big. We've been kind of teasing it for several weeks that this was going to be the big weekend, and sure enough, it is. Of course, you mentioned Harold Perkins. He's coming in for an unofficial visit. As of now, the only official visit is the cornerback Earl Little from Florida. He's been on the books, is coming for an official visit for months. He's had that scheduled since the spring. So, but the unofficial visitors for 22, 23, there's going to be some 24s there. It's the who's who of Louisiana kids. There's only one or two Louisiana kids that I'm kind of scratching my head on right now, or trying to figure out if they're going to be there or not Saturday. And here's the other thing too. These lists, we put them together, and then sometimes there'll be some no-shows, somebody's transportation fell through or whatever, but it should be a good weekend, and they're going to get to experience.
All right, Mike, people want to know about Harold Perkins. Is he inside, outside guy? And I know he's got a five-star ranking with some of the sites. Talk a little bit about, and I know you've talked to Blake Baker. This is his baby. He's been working really hard to get a guy like Harold Perkins in here. Could this guy be an impact player? And do you see him growing into an inside up? I think his phone. So, JP, you go ahead and
we'll throw it to another quick break, and we'll try to get Mike Scarborough back on the phone. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Tigers Roar after this break.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
All right, folks, you got to have it in the football field. You got to have it in the world of business as we audibilize. And after having a little technical difficulties, we are rejoined by Mike Scarborough. Mike, we were talking about Harold Perkins, the outstanding linebacker from Texas, 6'2", about 210. Is he an inside backer, outside backer? Tell us his best attributes and if it's LSU, A&M, or anybody else involved with his recruitment.
He can play in or out. I don't know what where to cap him off size-wise, but one thing he can do is run. And I just negotiated a deal where I got my friends over at TexAg some Eli Holstein video from last week, and they're supposed to shoot some Harold Perkins video for me this week or next. So, and then he's coming in this weekend. Blake Baker has been recruiting him as hard as can be. And it's an LSU A&M battle, I think. I mean, obviously there's a bunch of other schools involved, but those have been the main two. And now that A&M's been exposed, like I knew they would be, you know, any of their hype and the silliness that they were putting forth in College Station, that's not going to happen anymore. So I think LSU's in a good spot, but we'll see.
By the way, A&M AD actually released and sent out on a memo they have a new corporate sponsor for their football program, Sherwin-Williams, because watching their offense is like watching paint dry. Mike? Jimbo is just not sexy with the offense, and JP, ever since his quarterback's been out, they have left much to be desired on the offensive side of the ball.
That's exactly right. Mike, if you would, take the fans out there just through a typical day of what these recruits go through when they come to visit. What do they do before the game, during the game, after the game? What do they get to see and experience?
Well, it's different for an official visitor. An official visitor gets all their meals paid for, lodging picked up at the airport, you know, all their travel expenses taken care of. They get fancy meals, nights out at nice Baton Rouge restaurants, tour the facilities, meetings, etc. An unofficial visitor for an 8 o'clock kickoff probably shows up at 4 or 5 o'clock, checks in over there by the locker room, and they have something there for them that they can pay for at a good price. I think they have finger sandwiches and all that kind of stuff set up for them. But they get to be on the sideline in pregame warm-ups. Usually they get to mingle with the coaches, and offensive linemen will go over to that part of the back of the end zone and watch those guys work in pregame, and they get to go in the locker room after and all that kind of stuff. But they've got it down to a science for sure.
And you talk about Perkins with Damone Clark and Micah Baskerville both leaving. There's no doubt they're going to tell him you got a chance to come right in and play a bunch of minutes. Mike, we know about the offensive line. They only signed 2 last year. Kimo Macanoli has not gotten much PT. He needs a year to get bigger, stronger, and know what's going on. And, of course, Garrett Dellinger did get to start at left tackle, but is not a prototypical left tackle. You and I were joking. I think Emory Jones could come right in and be a guard, and of course, Will Campbell. What's the latest on the additions, and are you still positive about the Ormella kid possibly being a guy that would commit to LSU at some point in this class?
Well, I know the LSU coaches are confident about Julian Ormella being the 5th offensive lineman in this class. And then I also know they're ecstatic over the new 25+7 rule. because you can really do a number with that offensive line room where all of a sudden it almost looks brand new in within months. You get your 5 freshmen, many if not all of them are going to be midterm grads, and then you can get a couple of transfers in that don't have to sit out. All of a sudden, you go into next year, with some question marks still on the offensive line, but probably awful darn excited about the future at that position. Because if you're a top offensive lineman in a small conference, and maybe you were a late bloomer or whatever it is, and you've got some options at LSU. You can come right in and play.
Hey, Mike, a lot of talk about running backs. I watch a lot of college football, and it's been disappointing to see LSU not have the fast guys and the powerful guys and all that. TDP been fighting a little bit of a foot injury. John Emery got denied again. Trey Bradford still not cleared. Corey Kiner and Armani Goodwin getting a little bit of a taste of the SEC football. And Josh Williams, of course, who did gain a scholarship by doing the great things he's done the last year and a half. Give us the skinny and scoop about how many running backs and where you think they fit into next year's LSU team.
Well, obviously, Le'Veon Moss is one that's still out there. And I'll be seeing him Friday night against Caleb Jackson from Liberty. And then, of course, I already got Citizen from Lake Charles committed. He'll be on campus Saturday for an unofficial visit. So, and then Trey Holly will be in. The little running back for 23 as well will be there on Saturday. So I like the numbers at LSU's deal there. But, look, the LSU coaches knew in December that John Emery wasn't going to be eligible.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as you got the report card in early December, you knew he was cooked.
Yeah, well, of course, the denial today, I was going to ask you, what do you think, JP, what do you and Mike think about John Emery? What happens from here?
I think he tries to get stronger, keep working out, and throw his hat in the ring for the NFL. I can't see what he's done enough to be in the draft, be a high draft pick, but he's going to chase down that dream. I don't see him coming back to LSU for his senior year. I mean, if it's a transfer portal, I don't think he'll be eligible to play with the academic issues. So in my opinion, he just keeps on training and tries to work for that opportunity in the NFL.
Mike, what you think?
I think he's got to come back for another year.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown anything that, I mean, running backs are already your very, very good ones. I mean, don't get or are not first-round guys.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong, and you take a chance because maybe he takes the calculation that he is what he is. Running backs only have so much tread on the tire, all that stuff. But it's not like he's getting battered and bruised this season. So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to view that, particularly when not only you have 2 very good freshmen right now that continue to show where they could be guys, and then you're going to have a couple more that come in for next year.
Yeah.
Makes things interesting.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Kim Mulkey. And she had a press conference and then let the fans and the media watched about 20 minutes of practice. Your early impressions and first impressions of what you saw this afternoon.
Well, it's, for a guy who's been doing this for 25 years, it's the first time I've ever been to a women's basketball practice. So we're going to see what this Mulkey fever deal is. I know their first game against Nickel is actually a field trip game. I think it's an 11 a.m. tip-off, and they're inviting all the high schools in the area to come. So actually the second game will really be like the game, I believe. So, but it was just, I thought they'd have a bigger crowd of media there today, but all the TV stations were there, myself. Actually, I was the only website guy there now that I think about it. So what does that tell you?
The hardest working man in show business. Hey, wrapping up.
Yeah, I'm beating my chest a little bit. I was the only website guy there today.
Hey, wrapping up, I got this question today. You wasn't on. You'll be doing radio with us tomorrow. A guy wanted you, because you followed Walker Howard so quickly, How advanced is he, and will he compete for the starting quarterback job at LSU in light of the fact that he's coming in early? How good is Walker? What does he need to do to improve? And is he in the mix when he comes in next January?
Boy, that depends on how Max finishes out. Nussmeier's going to continue to get bigger and stronger. There's scenarios of who's the offensive coordinator going to be next year. There's all sorts of scenarios out there.
All right, Mike.
Do I think Walker Howard can compete for the job immediately? I tell you what, I think Max has done very, very well. I don't know that Walker comes in and beats him out in year one. I just don't see that. But if something were to happen, what really gets interesting is the battle between Garrett and Walker.
Yeah, right. You never know.
All right, Mike, I know you have a lot to do. Busy man, busy time of the year for you. Before we let you go, tell everybody about TigerBait.com and how you can subscribe today.
That's it. Go to TigerBait.com, choose the annual package. That saves you money. You basically get 3 months for free when you choose that. Got all your basketball, football recruiting. We've got it all for you on TigerBait.com and our YouTube channel, LSU Tigers on TigerBait. Be sure to go check that out and subscribe and hit the notification bell. We're uploading stuff there every day.
Facebook Live every Wednesday night, so check that out as always. Keep up the great work, my man, and as always, appreciate you.
All right, thank you. I'll talk soon.
Thanks, Mike.
Wrapping up this show, JP. Interesting part of the season. One of the things I love about football is the anticipation of it, but it's a blur. Do you realize LSU's already played 1/3 of the regular season?
Yep.
I mean, 4 games already in the hopper, and we know that this one's important. Listen, fans, if you are not going to the game, give those tickets and your parking pass to somebody else. It's going to be a big part of the experience. I don't think they'll get everybody there, but I'm hoping at least the sidelines are filled, and I'm hoping that it can be a loud crowd because not sugarcoating it here. This is a must-win football game for Coach O and his football program.
Before we switch to the NFL and the Saints talk, Bud, man, want to get your prediction for this Saturday, 8 o'clock in Death Valley.
I am feeling good. Jonathan heard me on Monday and Tuesday and said, man, we got to go through the drive-through daiquiri. You need an attitude adjustment. And I got that. So I'm thinking that they're going to find a way to win 31-23 over the fake Tigers. Can we say fake in this world today?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Seeing that the whole world is fake?
Okay, switching gears to the NFL. New Orleans Saints are now 2-1 after knocking off the Patriots. It's like a feast or famine for this New Orleans team so far this year. Looked great in week 1, looked horrible in week 2. Week 3 was a bounce-back game in Foxborough. Sean Payton loves to take on Bill Belichick, really a clashing of defensive great mind and offensive great mind and Sean Payton. Jameis Winston did what he had to do through two touchdowns, no interceptions. We do have some highlights in the truck. We actually rolled those. We talked over those really quick. Appreciate that, Katie, doing a great job in there. Here you see Jameis Winston starting off with the play fake. Alvin Kamara didn't score a touchdown in this game, but he was a factor, had over 80 yards. Taysom Hill also had 34 yards. He did get a score on the ground. They see Kenny Stills catching a ball in his return to the Saints.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Kamara played much better, and, of course, here's a little dump off to him for the touchdown. Jameis Winston's taken what the defense gives him. I love the way they played defense and mixed up the coverages on a rookie quarterback.
And you really got to tip your hat to Sean Payton. Does a great job of designing a scheme, a play scheme for the players that he has available. Saints did get some guys back on offense.
Oh, my goodness.
That guy's wide open.
Can LSU call that play a little slant from the running back? I just wish they'd use the running backs more. Saints do a great job in that. And here we go, the bad boy from Florida who's coming off of an injury.
He changes the game for the Saints secondary. Good in the pass rush, good in the coverage. You see a blocked punt, special teams getting on the action. Saints really working in all 3 phases of the game on Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Saints won this ball game at the line of scrimmage. Listen, they've got so many guys now that are new. Oh, by the way, I'm sure you'll see here coming up in a little bit, but Malcolm Jenkins can't ever have an easier pick 6. But there you go with the blocked punt and this might be it. Malcolm's got one coming up here in a little bit. No, that's not it. That's the other one that goes down inside the 10 on the INT.
Yeah, P.J. Williams, another easy interception. Thought he was going to score, but got tripped up inside the 10. Got to about the 7-yard line. And here you go, Jameis Winston with another play fake. And this guy, happy for him. Marcus Callaway catches his first official touchdown in the NFL. A prayer thrown up there by Jameis Winston, but at least he put it in a good spot. Excellent adjustment right there by Callaway to catch the
Coach Payton wasn't too happy about that. When you throw it up there in the red zone, that can cost you points. But it came down, and as you said, Callaway, I like him a lot.
Oh, yeah. Here's where the defense really puts the clamps on. The ball pops up.
There's my Jenkins play right there.
Malcolm Jenkins, yeah. You
never going to have one that easy.
Popped right into his hands, returns it for a touchdown. That's points on the board for the Saints at this point. It was 21-3, and really coasting towards a score. We're getting short on time, so whenever you want to get out of these highlights, that will be fine. Appreciate you rolling those for us, Katie. Bud, man, Sean Payton has a very good record against Bill Belichick. Saints usually don't do well against rookie quarterbacks for some reason. RG3 lit him up in his debut in the Superdome. I always get a little bit nervous when they play rookie quarterbacks. Mac Jones, did look like a rookie this past Sunday.
Do you realize what Bill Belichick's record is without Tom Brady? It's under 500, in case you haven't looked it up. And guess who makes a return to New England land this weekend? Sunday Night Football, Tom Brady and former Tiger Marcus Spears said Tom Brady's going to take this personal. You know, there's been a lot coming out that Bill Belichick didn't do everything to keep Tom Brady there.
Right.
And it does say a lot about Brady going over to win a Super Bowl first year with Tampa Bay. But Marcus Spears actually said Brady and Tampa Bay want to put 50 on Belichick in New England. You know that had to get Belichick a little fired up.
Well, somebody in Brady's camp came out and said that Bill Belichick treated Tom Brady as the same as a 20-year-old quarterback as he did when he was a 40-year-old quarterback. Yeah. And look, when you've been around that long, you have all the skins on the wall, all the Super Bowl rings. You think you deserve a little bit of a special treatment. Bill Belichick's not that guy.
No, but Aretha's got to sing for that. Now, come on. You got to give Tom Brady RESPECT. He still is, folks, the greatest quarterback ever with 7 Super Bowl rings.
Saints take on the Giants at home next Sunday at 12 o'clock. Daniel Jones and that offense coming in. Going to compete against the Saints. I think the Saints are a better team. Giants do have talent. They're trying to put some things together. Saquon Barkley, of course, a good running back for the Giants. Saints defense is going to have a task in front of them trying to stop that running back.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first game as the Caesars Superdome. Earlier, a couple of weeks ago, there was a fire. They put it out very quickly. The Saints fans are going to pack it. All right, last week, trifecta. LSU, Southern, Saints all win. Let's see if it can happen again this weekend.
We certainly appreciate you tuning in to Tigers Roar. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. A great way to keep up with everything we do at the Pelican. You have Tigers Roar, Clarence Buggs, the Rocket Right Show, the Coach Roger Kadar Show, and starting this week, the Overtime Show with A.B. Roman Banks from Southern University. Check it all out on YouTube. Once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Certainly appreciate you tuning in to Tigers Roar, and we'll see you next week.